So if you could just give me your first and last name and spell it out for me.
Lisa LaFleur, LISALAFLOR.
Okay. I'm gonna move this way just so that it's on. Okay, that's good.
You want to hold this out?
Sorry.
No, you're fine. Actually, can you move a little bit? Just there we go. Okay, so can you tell me what we're doing here today?
So I'm bringing everybody together. We are protesting against police brutality. The men who murdered Breonna Taylor have not been charged or arrested yet. A lot of our women fall in the shadows when it comes to Black Lives Matter. They don't really get the justice that they deserve. So we're protesting today for the justice for Breonna Taylor. And then I'm coming together to bring the community together for Juneteenth, which is a holiday for the African American community. And it's supposed to be the day of our emancipation. Even though there's still a lot of injustice going around, we still have to be grateful for living in the day and age that we do now versus what our ancestors lived in, where I wouldn't even be having this conversation with you at one point. So again, I'm bringing the community together in celebration of that.
Awesome. And then you talked about Juneteenth, of course. Why is it important for people to understand what Juneteenth is and the history behind it?
At one point, we were considered property, and it's kind of sad to hear that, but it's important because we're human beings. For anybody who's biblical, the Bible never describes us in color. It's either man or woman. We're human, and that's it. We're all the same. Juneteenth is important because, again, it's a day when we no longer had to be slaves to people, or at least for the most part. What I actually learned today is that even though we were supposed to be emancipated, we were still slaves for 2 more years, and Juneteenth is the day that we finally were actually free. So I learned that today. But yeah, that's the reason that I celebrate, again, as a tribute to my ancestors for paving the way for me and having this platform that I have now.
And why is it important for El Paso to know about this history? I mean, the population here is mostly Hispanic, so you hear more about like the Mexican culture, the Mexican history. So why is it important? I
feel a lot of Hispanics may not feel like they're treated the same as us. They may not be treated as badly, but in the enemy's eyes, they dislike you the way they dislike me. And I think we got a little taste of that last year at the mass shooting. So I really want El Paso to understand that, we need to come together as a community, as cultures, and we're fighting the same fight against the oppressor. I am going to be organizing another protest for August 2nd, which is going to be for the anniversary of the mass shooting, because that man has not been has gone to trial yet, and he's probably just sitting in jail protected right now. And I need El Paso to come together for that, most definitely. So.
Awesome. And then you also mentioned that, Juneteenth is important always, of course, but why especially this year and with the protests we've recently seen, what does Juneteenth mean now more than ever?
I think it's the time for us to stop being silent. And not that we ever were silent, but this generation that we live in, we're not taking none of this that's going on. They've been doing it for 400 plus years. I used to say they went from, lynching us from trees to shooting us in the streets, but there was 4 people who were hung in trees. And that's in 2020. We shouldn't be seeing that in 2020. So I think that's what's really kicking this off. Juneteenth was never really recognized as a holiday. My CEO of my job, a blessing, he donated $50,000 to the NAACP, and him and other, of course, organizations, they're trying to make Juneteenth a federal holiday. That way, people who want to celebrate can take the day off of work. Like, I wish I could have took the day off because I had so much to do. So I'm glad that it's finally getting recognized. Even on social media, as far as I know, Snapchat's never had a filter for Juneteenth, and now we have one. So it's a movement, and it's progress for our community, and I'm very grateful for that.
Awesome. Do you have any questions, Eva?
Are you grateful to Donald Trump for letting you know that Juneteenth exists? I'm just kidding. No, yes.
Yes.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you guys. Thank you so much for coming out. I really appreciate it.
So are you the head of the Black Student Union? Or?
No.
Okay.
This is my organization. So my organization is called Community Healing Texas. And so basically I got the idea from Community Healing out in California. What they do, and of course, California is more into the spiritual healing community. They do sound bowl healing sessions. People bring other sound healing instruments, and everybody sits in a meditative state. They relax about the first 20-30 minutes in, and then, you know, they'll have people bring food, and they have vegan potlucks. When I had went last year in November, they had concerts, you know, and I hope to bring that to El Paso. You know, I feel like we're growing, and, you know, we should be on the map just as much as everybody else. And so that's what I'm hoping to bring to El Paso. You know, eventually when Corona is past and the world is back to normal, I want to be able to bring our community together for those kind of events. You know, and it's funded by the community for the community.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. You guys have a great day.
Thank you for putting this together.
Stay safe and stay blessed. Thank you.